Welcome to our new video. Today we will be learning about some commonly used PowerApp function. To make things easy to grasp, I will be using an employee list, throughout the tutorial. So this is our employee list. So if we go to the site connects, here you can see one employee list. So in the employee list we have title, employee ID, rating and their department. So let us create one Power App. So let me creating. I will create a blank canvas app. Power App function app. So let me create. So now the first thing we will connect our employee list. So for that, let me go to the data source. Here add data. From the connector, we'll choose our SharePoint. So here I will select my site employee. Then I will select the employee list. So now the employee data source is connected. So let me create one button here. Button. We will use our all operation in this button. So let me change to execute something. Execute. Now we will store this employee table in a variable so that we can easily see the output. So let me click here. So here we are going to create a global variable using the set function. So first we will type the variable name. So what I will put, like we will put employee table. So employee table, and we will store the data source. So our data source name is employee. So let me type employee, which we connected now. So employee here. Now let me play this app. Execute. So here you can see employee table. So this is our employee table. Like department, here you can see employee ID and the rating and the title. So the first function we are going to learn is show column. Here in this example you can see there are a lot of columns are showing, but we need only this column like title, employee ID, rating and department. So let me select only that column. So the first thing we will choose show column. So let me expand this one. So here show column. So before that we will store those output to one variable so we can easily see that. So let me create one variable here, set. Then we will create one variable emp table 1. And we'll pass our table emp table. So let me type first show column, and here we have to pass the table name. So let me pass our variable employee table. Then which all column we need. So in our case we need title, employee ID, rating and department. So we will select this 4. So might be in your case, suppose you need only title and employee ID, you can just pass that title and the employee ID. So now we will type the column which required. So title. So suppose if you type here, you can directly get like this: title, then employee ID. So employee ID, then rating, then department. So now let me play this. Display, execute. So here you can see in the table 1 we will get only the columns which we selected. Okay, so now we will learn about another function. So first just think like this. Suppose for example in this case here we have 4 columns. So we need only title, employee ID and rating, okay, and we not require department. So how we can do that? Again we have to put show column, then we have to write title, employee ID, rating, right? So for that what we can do, we can use drop column. So in the drop column function we can only avoid which is not required. So for example in this case we need title, employee ID and rating. So let me create another variable. So here employee table 2, I will put employee table 2. Okay, so now here we choose the drop column. In the drop column function here we will pass our employee table. So this is our table is employee table 1, so the previous output. Okay, so now I need only like employee ID, rating and title. So for that what I can do, I can drop the column. So department is not required for me. So let me type department. So now if I close this one and if I play this, so here you can see by using the drop column we can remove the department and we will display the other column which is required, like employee ID, rating and title. So now for example I want to add another column to this. For that purpose we use the add column. For example here you can see rating like 7482. So I want to display like if rating is more than 5 that employee is promoted. So I need another column like promoted. If it is promoted, yes. If it is not promoted, no. So like that we'll create. How we can create? So let me just select another variable. So here I am passing as employee table 3. So create a variable with employee table 3. Now we need to create the column. So add column to employee table 2, right? So we have to add to our employee table 2 variable. Now just give your column name here. Okay, so I need something like promoted. So now we will choose like if function. So by using if the rating, right? So this record dot rating is greater than 5, we need to display it as yes, means it is promoted. So yes, else we will put no. Now let me close this one, closing, and we're closing. So now let us play this. So let me play here, click on execute. So here if you select the variable which we created latest, employee table 3, so here you can see the column is created using the add column function like promoted. So here you can see it is yes and no, yes, no, like that. So the next thing, suppose if I want to find out a record using employee ID. So just think like this case, this is 205, right? And the employee name is title. So I just want to get the record, this record using employee ID. So for that we will use the lookup function. So let me create another column, set. So we are creating another variable, okay? Set employee table 4. This is our new variable, and here we will pass the lookup function. So lookup, here I will pass the table name. So from employee table 3 I need to get. So now here I can pass the employee ID, okay? Employee ID equal to 205. So 205. Now if I close this one, now let me play this, execute. So here we can see we got that record, title, job. So for example, suppose I want to notify this username to our Power App. So for that purpose, we can use a notify function. Like simply you can put a notify here, like notify now. So we already got the output here, employee table 4. Just type employee table 4 dot title. Let me close this one. Let me just execute this one. So here you can see that title is displaying here as a notification. So let me comment this one now. It's not required. So the next function we will learn to get the item count. Okay, so for example, in our employee table 3 we have some items, so we need to find out the count. So let me play this once more. Execute, close. Here in the employee table 3, here you can see we have some items, so we need to get the count. So for that purpose we can use the count row function. So let me save into another variable like set. We can put something like item count. Okay, something like this, item count. Then we will use the function count row. So in the count rows, here we have to pass the data source. So in our case it is employee table 3. So let me pass employee table 3. So let me close this one. Let's execute this one. So execute. So here if I select this one, item count, here you can see item count is 4. So for the employee table 3 we have the item count is 4. Here we have 4 items. So suppose I want to get the item count of the employee who all are promoted. So in our case that is 2. So we'll find out using a function. So for that I can put like set another variable. Then we can type a promoted user count, something like that we can put. So now I'm just passing the count e function. So here we have some functions are there. So count if, you can use count if. Then here you have to pass the employee table. So in our case it is employee table 3. So what is the like formula we can give? Like we have a condition here, like if it is promoted we have to get the count. So put select your column and you can pass the value like yes. So let me pass yes here. Just close this one, closing the variable. So let me execute this one. So here you can see the promoted user count is 2. So that is correct. Now for example, here in our table, here we have so many ratings. So we need to find out which is the maximum rating. So for that we can use a max function. So let me just type here set. So we need to find out the maximum employee rating. So we have to use the function max. So in the max function we have to pass our data source. So our data source is employee table 3. Then here we have to pass the column which we need. So rating. Just close this one, close this one. So the maximum employee rating is max of employee table 3 and the column rating. So let me play this, execute. So here you can see employee rating is 8. That is the maximum. The same thing we can use as minimum. So let me copy completely, paste here. So we'll find. So we can use the minimum. So let me play this one, execute. Here you can see minimum employee rating is 2. So now we will learn the another important function, that is filter. So for example, I want to get all the users who is promoted. So for that purpose we can use filter function. So let me creating another variable set. So we have to get the promoted users. So promoted users. Now we have to type the filter function. Filter, here we have to pass the employee table. So in our case employee table 3. Now here we have to select which record we have to filter based on. So we have to filter based on the record, like based on the rating. So for that we can use this record dot we already have promoted, right? So we can pass promoted equal to yes. So now let me close this filter function. We'll close the variable. So here you can see we are creating a variable promoted user, and using the filter function we are passing our data source, then the condition we are putting, like this record dot promoted equal to yes. So let me play this one. So here click on execute. So now here we can see the promoted user list. See, we got the 2 record. So now another thing is that we can create some sorting also. For example, here you can see employee table 3. Suppose we need to sort based on the rating, okay, for this record. So what we can use the sort function. So for that, create another variable set. Now we can create sort based on rating. Okay, so now sort by column. Here we can pass our employee table. So in our case employee table 3. Then which column we need to the rating. Now in which way we need to sort. So we need to sort by ascending order. So just select ascending. So just close this one, close the variable. Now let me play this, execute. So here we can see the output. Sort is in the ascending order now, like 2 to 8. So now we will learn about collection, some function related to collection. So let me create another button for that. So here let me change to execute collection. So to create collection we can use collect function. So just type collect, and here we can give a name. So let me collect, I will create a salary table. Okay, so just salary table I will create. So salary table, here I will pass employee ID, some of the employee ID, name, salary. So here I have passed employee name and employee salary for 2 record. So here you can see I created 2 record by using the collect function. So this is the collection name. So here you can see, let me execute this one, execute. So here you can see we have created one table like this 2 collection. So now for example, let me add again. Suppose if I click again, what will happen is like the collection is already created. So here you can see it get duplicate. See, so for that what we can use a function clear collect. So what will happen if we use clear collect, the previous collection it will cleared and it will add a new collection. So let me first create clear collection here. So here you can see clear collect. So now what will happen if I play again this one, if I click this one, here you can see this is creating first time like this. So now suppose I want to add another record to this collection. So for that purpose, we can use collect here. So if I put collect here, then I can pass the same table, salary table, and here I will add another record. So let me copy this one and I will put something employee ID equal to 3. The name I will change to Aman. So okay, we will use another name. So I will put like something hand, and salary I can put something 7,000 or something. Okay, so let me play this one. If I execute here, before that one error is showing here. So, okay, so we will close this one. Now we will play and execute the collection. So here you can see now the salary table has 3 items. So we learned like how to create a collection and how to add a new record to collection. Also we learned how to update a collection. So for example, just consider like we have employee ID 3 here. So for example, for this guy hand, we need to update the salary. So I will change his salary, or I want to change his salary 7,000 to 1,000. So for that, what we can do, we can use a patch function. So just type patch. Now here you have to pass your table, the collection name. So salary table. Now, so which record I want to change? So we will use the lookup which we learned earlier. So we can pass the salary table. Now in the lookup we can, which record we need to fetch, employee ID equal to 3. So let me type employee ID equal to 3. So now the next condition is what we have to update. So we have to update the salary, right? So let me close this one, lookup. Now we can update the salary. So just pass the column name salary. We'll type 1,000. Okay, let me close this one. We are closing this. Now let me play this. So we are passing a patch function and the table, and we are getting, so here we are passing the record, actually which record we need to update. So now the salary. So here you can see the record we already got is hand 7,000, but we are going to update to 1,000. So let me play this one now. Execute. So now what will happen if you click here and expand here? So let me click on salary table. So here you can see for the record hand it is updated to 1,000. So now for example, suppose I want to remove a record. So we'll consider like we will remove this record mat. So for that what we can do, we can use a remove function. So just click remove. Now here we have to pass the table. So our table is salary table, our collection. Okay, so now in the collection what we have to remove, we have to remove, so we will use the same lookup. So but the ID we can pass as 2. So here employee ID is 2. So now just close this one. Now let me execute this one. So here execute collection. So here you can see the salary table now only 2 record. So the record mat has removed. The commonly used function like, so first one is global variable, then show column, drop column, then the lookup function, then we learned item count, then max, min, filter, sort by. Collection part we also learned how to create a collection, how to update a collection, how to remove a collection. So that's all. Thanks for watching this video.